Yes, that is snow behind Brian Urlacher as we welcome you back to Denver with the Bears leading the Broncos 9-7 at the half.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about the Broncos having the #2 defense in the National Football League, and they lived up to it. They were a scrappy bunch out there. They got off the field on 3rd down, and then I think the Bears defense has improved. You know, they held. They found a way to keep Jake Plummer in the pocket. And I think that's the key right now. Do they keep Jake Plummer in the pocket, or does Shanahan design a way to get him back out of the pocket? Because when he does, this is a special offense.
Broncos drove 78 yards on 12 plays on their opening drive, but that was it as far as offense was concerned from Denver. And then the Bears just 3 field goals, including a 54-yarder.
Yeah, and Jake is only in the pocket, out of the pocket 3 times. And really, they want him out of the pocket a lot more, because when he gets out of there, he gets separation from the defense, and he sees the field so much better. And it buys more time for his receivers to get open.
Paul Ettinger, who kicked that 54-yard field goal at the end of the first half, will kick off for Chicago. Second half underway on a 19-degree afternoon here in Denver. Cole takes a knee in the end zone. So the Broncos will start from their own 20-yard line. Jake Plummer, 8 of 13, 57 yards, and the 1 touchdown pass in the first half. Clinton Portis, 97 yards on 9 carries, including that 59-yard run. Portis just 4 yards shy of his second consecutive 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, and when you get a back that gets you 97 yards in the first half, you should have more productivity points-wise, and they did miss a field goal. But this offense isn't finishing drives right now. Give credit to the coverage of the Bears corners right now.
From the 20, play action on first down. Plummer can't find anyone and throws it away. He was under pressure. Phillip Daniels in his face.
And I can almost hear Shanahan and Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, at halftime saying, Jake, we're not helping you here. And there's Shannon Sharpe. There's the coverage. Shannon Sharpe basically got double teamed there, and he's taken out. Look at the coverage down here at the bottom. Charles Tillman on Rod Smith running step for step with them. And so, yeah, they got Plummer out of the pocket, but there again, there's the coverage of the Bears and the improved coverage with these corners right now.
On 2nd and 10, Portis gains 5 and is over the 1,000-yard mark. 102 yards today, 1,001 for the season.
Well, he's a special back. He really is. You know, and I talked about how disciplined he was, like right there. He just stuck it right in there. He's not a big back, but he's tough. And he took it in the hole, and I said, man, you don't find young backs with that kind of speed, that discipline. And Mike Shanahan said, I yell at that guy every single day. And it's either he's going to get tired of yelling at me, or he's going to stick it in the hole. And right now, that's what he's doing.
Well, Lee in motion on 3rd down and 5. Broncos have to get to the 30. And they do as Rod Smith breaks a couple of tackles and takes it out to the 40-yard line. 15-yard pass play from Plummer to Smith.
Nice job by Jake hanging in there. Pretty good pass rush, pretty good protection. I mean, Bears are coming after him off the corner to try and keep him in that pocket. Jake just, you know, right in the calm of the storm, stayed in there. A little pick from the umpire there, used it to his advantage.
4th reception for Rod Smith. He has the game's only touchdown.
RW comes out.
From the 40 on first down, it's Portis. Clinton Portis, 1 man to beat. Forced out of bounds by Mike Brown after a gain of 50.
I don't know if it's his running style, but he always looks like he's the fastest player on the field. Now he might be the most tiredest player on the field. But he was a blur going through that hole. And that's what happens when you stay disciplined here. Watch him hit this. Right behind Matt Lepsis, the right tackle. He got a good lead block right on Urlacher, and now he's gone. And now here's Mike Brown, the safety. Urlacher sees he's coming right at him, and Reuben Drones there. Reuben Drones stayed on his feet, and got the key block on Urlacher to take him out of the hole. And then that special kid did the rest.
Officially 49 yards on that scamper by Portis.
Well, you see the two long ones. You get the two long ones, two reasons why. One is you hit the hole and you stay with it. And then the second thing is the offensive line and their athleticism. They get to the second level and they tie up those linebackers. And that's what happens. No negative runs from Clinton Portis there today.
Quentin Griffin, who had that 23-yard run in the first half, has replaced Portis. First and 10 from the 11, and there's a negative run. Griffin is met in the backfield by Joe Tafoya for a loss of 3.
Well, that's how you stop the runs, is by penetrating and getting across the line of scrimmage and not letting him get to the line of scrimmage clean.
We're told Portis got the wind knocked out of him at the end of that 49-yard run when tackled by Mike Brown. His 7th 100-yard game this season. He had 8 last year. So in his career, in 23 games, he's gone over 115 times.
Yeah, he's going to climb the charts fast.
2nd and 13, and the pass batted down by Phillip Daniels.
Well, here's the key down now. You got 3rd and 13, and, you know, you're down 9-7. You know, the Broncos trying to get a touchdown. Do they throw the ball in the end zone? We'll see how the Bears defend it. I mean, the guy that I think you have to look for here with the Broncos is Shannon Sharp. He caught 3 touchdowns last week. Portis looks like he's more than just the wind knocked out of him. That's his best game of the season, 151 yards. He just kicked off the 3rd quarter.
Previous season high, 141 against Kansas City.
Shannon Sharp right here.
3rd down and 13. Plummer under pressure, steps up and throws complete to Smith. But a nice tackle made by Mike Brown. Gain of 8 on the play. And the Broncos will send out the field goal unit.
Well, Mike Brown saved that touchdown of Clinton Portis on the long run. And they just did the same thing with the coverage and the hit on Rod Smith, keeping the Broncos out of the end zone. Rod Smith running just a shallow cross, and Mike Brown's a sure tackle.
This a 25-yard attempt. Elam missed from 40 earlier. And he hits this one. So Jason Elam now 1 for 2. Broncos have regained the lead, thanks in large part to this 49-yard run by Portis. Back at Denver, Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger. Looks like Cordell Stewart will replace Chris Chandler at quarterback for the Bears.
Well, Chandler, arm in a sling right now, got a bad shoulder. We thought we saw something there at the end of the 2nd quarter. Stewart's going to get a chance right here and bring this team back.
Jerry Azuma cutting to the outside. Had a 51-yard return earlier and brings this one back to the 44. This return 39 yards.
Well, I tell you, he's something special. He's a weapon now. I don't know if the Bears have ever, I mean, maybe, did Gale Sayers return kicks for a while? I mean, probably since Gale Sayers, they haven't had a kick returner that looks like he could do something exciting every time he touches it.
So here comes Cordell Stewart out of the University of Colorado right here. 8 seasons in Pittsburgh, started the first 5 games this year for the Bears. They won only 1 of those 5. He was replaced by Chandler. Starting from the 44-yard line, pass complete to Marty Booker. And Booker looks to have a first down.
2nd quarter, take a look at Chris Chandler. Good passing. You can see it was bothering him. We kind of showed that. Made a couple throws, but here he is at halftime. Probably got an X-rayed and now the arm in a sling. That's not a good sign right there when they go to the sling. I'll tell you, Cordell Stewart gives the Bears team a completely different dimension to try to defend than does Chris Chandler.
Pass was behind the intended receiver, David Terrell.
And that's not the different dimension.
No.
You know, that's not it. But the different dimension is, and the reason why they signed Cordell Stewart in the offseason and why they brought Jake Plummer in to look at it, is they wanted a guy that could get out of the pocket and make plays. and they wanted a guy that had the ability to rescue plays when they were bad. Because, remember, they just went through guys like Jim Miller, guys that were immobile, Chris Chandler, and they wanted a guy that gave them that dimension the way that Jake Plummer does the Denver Broncos.
On 2nd and 10, off the play fake, a pump fake, and then Stewart out of bounds at the 38-yard line, about 2 yards shy of the marker.
And there it is. I mean, that's what they wanted from Cordell, that ability to move the pocket, movement from the quarterback position. It's more difficult to defend. This is what he did at the University of Colorado, and when he took the Steelers to a couple of AFC championship games. But what they didn't get from him was a great understanding of the offense and pinpoint passes. But that's what you got to do with Cordell. You got to move him.
You had a brief look at the number 3 quarterback, Rex Grossman, on the Bears sidelines. Stewart calls timeout with the play clock winding down. Early 3rd quarter here in Denver. Broncos leading by 1. '18-degree afternoon. Not much hot here in Denver today.
Yeah, no caution there.
Bears fans huddling up.
Yeah.
3rd down and 3. And the give is to Bobby Ware, the rookie wide receiver out of Arizona.
I tell you, that Bobby Wade is an exciting kid. Okay, I mean, he's out of Arizona. He was a draft pick here, and that enthusiasm is infectious. And I talked to him before the game, and he got a chance to play when Marty Booker was hurt, and he loved it. I mean, he loved being out there. He doesn't care what the record is. He loves playing the game. And that was a big play, keeping this drive alive for the Bears.
So Wade on 3rd and 3 took the handoff from Stewart, picked up the 1st down. Anthony Thomas, gain of 2 down to the Broncos 33-yard line. Trevor Price made the tackle.
Just looking at this Broncos defense down there, you know, they played well today. Giving up 3 field goals. They defended the end zone real well, and scrappy group. And we talked a lot about where they came from and who they are. But you go into the meetings all week and you're preparing, and you're looking at the Bears and you're looking at the last 4 games, and all you've seen is Chandler. And now you're seeing Cordell Stewart. And his ability to move, and when a play breaks down, to be able to put the ball down and run with it, it's a different dimension that this defense has to deal with.
Off the fake pitch. Stewart's pass incomplete, intended for Des White. And Brian, the official report on Chris Chandler, a sprained AC joint. He will not return today.
Yeah, and you know, to Cordell Stewart's credit, you know, he started the first 5 games. His last game was in New Orleans. It was a homecoming for him. He was from New Orleans. It was a terrible day for him. Marty Booker got hurt that day. The Bears had a chance to win it. But since that time, as Chandler has started, he kept his mouth closed. He's been a professional. He's been trying to do everything he can, taking the reps in practice. He got hurt in that game. He's got himself healthy, and now he has a chance to help this team win a game.
On 3rd down and 9, Stewart is taken down back at the 40-yard line by Trevor Price.
Well, your big-time players have to step up when the game is on the line. Trevor Price comes on the outside here. That was a bad blocking assignment by the Bears. They had Desmond Clark, the tight end, blocking Trevor Price on that play. And you can't do that. Not the best pass rusher on the Broncos.
2nd sack today for Price. Bears now out of field goal range. Well, perhaps after this flag, they'll be back in field goal range. Edinger hit from 54 earlier.
Well, take a look at, here's Desmond Clark on the best pass rusher. And it doesn't look like he knows that he's supposed to block him. He jumped inside, and that's another breakdown by the Bears.
Number 59 defense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Ball spotted at the 35, which would be approximately a 52, 53-yard field goal.
Yeah, well, injured. He already kicked one from 54. Now, the wind, there is a little bit of wind today, and it's in the face right now. And you can see it, a couple of flags are blowing. There's a little bit of a wind, and I think that's the reason why I think the Bears are going to try and play field position here.
Yeah, because if they missed, it would give the Broncos terrific field position. A couple of Bears collide.
That was Ahmad Barrett down there. He ran right into his own teammate there.
Brock Williams,
yeah.
and the punt bounced through the end zone. So the Broncos will start from their own 20, leading by 1. 18 degrees at game time here today in Denver. It's the lowest ever temperature at a Broncos November home game.
Yeah, it's rare. Rare that it gets this cold this time of the year.
Portis out to the 24-yard line. The previous November low at a Broncos home game, 22 degrees back in 1987 against the same Chicago Bears.
Maybe the Bears bring it with them from Lake Michigan there.
Well, when we talked to John Shoup, the offensive coordinator of the Bears, yesterday and asked him about the weather, the potential snow, he said to us, well, it's not like we're coming from Miami.
True, but he said that every practice they've had in Chicago this year has been outdoors. They haven't gone inside once. It's been that whole Indian summer thing throughout the East Coast and part of the Midwest.
Second down and 6.
Out of there we go.
Just 2 for Portis as we check in with JB.
Kenny and Brian, the only question you can ask here is why would Jeff Blake throw this one in the grasp of Grant Wisdom? Why did he throw that one? Well, Travis Fisher, he's thrilled. He takes it 57 yards to pay dirt. That for the Rams score, 24-10. 19 seconds left in the third. Back to Kenny and Brian.
Well, JP, another one of those free agent quarterbacks in the offseason that went from one team to the next as the icicles are still dripping, meaning it hasn't completely frozen up here.
Broncos have to get to the 30 for a first down. And Plummer's pass is short. Charles Tillman on the coverage. Broncos wanted a flag.
Well, I'll tell you what has frozen is the offense of Denver, and part of it is here. Here's the rookie, Charles Tillman. Gets his hands on Ashley Lilly, never takes him off. Now, you shouldn't technically be able to do that with the ball in the air. Maybe they're starting to give him a little bit of a break. Remember, his nickname is Peanut, and he thought about changing his number. Maybe the officials wouldn't flag him so many times if he changed his name and a number.
First time the Broncos have gone 3 and out today. As the punt is fielded at the 30 by McQuarters, there is a flag. McQuarters brings it out to the 42-yard line. 12 yards on the return, 44-yard punt. One of the Broncos may have made contact with McQuarters before he caught the punt.
Somebody might have interfered with R.W. McQuarters, the punt returner.
Bill Levy and crew sorting things out.
Interference with the opportunity to make a catch. Number 21, kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Automatic first down. Timeout.
Scott Turner, the guilty Denver Bronco. Denver Broncos 3 games behind the division-leading Kansas City Chiefs, who lead the Raiders 21-7.
And Kansas City comes to visit in a couple of weeks. That was a good first game, week 5 of this season.
Broncos lost by only 1, 24-23. Anthony Thomas across midfield into Broncos territory, a gain of 6.
I'm looking down there in the heart of this defense, Al Wilson. And, he said that the biggest difference with this defense, number 2 ranked defense in the league this year versus last year, was one, Larry Coyer, the defensive coordinator. Guys said that they would run through the wall for Larry Coyer. Now, he's a guy that is a teacher first. He's taught every position in football, the defensive line, the linebackers, and the defensive backs. So he has an understanding of what everybody does.
2nd and 4. Stewart got rid of it, and Stanley Pritchett picks up a first down at the Broncos 42.
That was a good play on offense, and Al Wilson was right there. You know, he watched the whole thing develop. He had his eyes right in the backfield. Steps up, watched the play action, and then comes out of it. And the thing about Al Wilson is, he said he was looking forward to playing Chicago today because of Urlacher. He likes watching other middle linebackers. They played Baltimore earlier in the year, and he couldn't take his eyes off of Ray Lewis. He enjoys watching good middle linebacker play.
From the 42, Stewart airing it out, intended for Des White. We asked Al Wilson if the defense had a name for themselves. He said, no, last year we had a name, but we didn't do so well, so we decided this year to go with no name.
Well, I tell you, the other thing he said was what we just saw in the last play. He said the other big difference here, outside of Larry Coyer, is we've gotten much better cornerback play. He said a year ago, Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator, played the corners passive. And he goes, you know, teams like the Raiders would come out and convert 24 passes in a row against us. But now with Kelly Herndon and Lenny Walls, these guys have tightened up the coverage. Look at it here. Right in their face, and they're making the wide receivers beat them.
Off the play fake, Stewart rolling right on 2nd and 10. He takes off down to the 36-yard line. Despite not playing the last 5 games, Stewart still the 3rd leading rusher this season among quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, I mean, that's a big reason why he's here. You know, when Jake Plummer didn't sign him, you know, it was like college recruiting. They brought Jake Plummer up there to Chicago and took him out on Rush Street and fed him a big fat, you know, Chicago steak and all that. But what convinced Jake to come here was the offense and the success of the offense. So the number 2 pick for the Bears was Cordell Stewart.
Marty Booker in motion, 3rd and 3. Bears have to get to the 33 for a first down, and Desmond Clark was close and then forced back by Nick Ferguson. It will depend on the spot. Looks to be just short.
Boy, another really good tight coverage by this Broncos defense. And you can't.
It looks like the Bears will go for it here on 4th down.
Well, you know, I think they've gone for it 11 times this season. You know, a couple times here today on 4th down, and they're just at that point of the season.
4th and 1 from the Broncos 34. Stewart to throw on 4th down, and he finds his man, Stanley Pritchett, who picks up the first down at the Broncos 30.
Well, I tell you, good throw by Cordell Stewart and a gutsy call. Go play action there. We got an excellent block in the backfield. Boy, I tell you, Anthony Thomas right there sealed the edge and allowed Cordell Stewart to have good vision to get the ball to Stanley Pritchett. You know, you can't really read Dick Duran because he's such a controlled guy, but he boils with emotion. That right there, you know, I mean, he still lives and plays the game right there on the sidelines.
Anthony Thomas, although Dick certainly showed emotion yesterday when he found out that his alma mater, Yale, lost to Harvard.
Yeah, there was rivalry Saturday, and I think a lot of people kind of had the heart taken out of it. USC, UCLA yesterday, Michigan, Ohio State. We're getting to that good time of the year. How about the BCS? I mean, every year, you know, you're like, how is we going to find 2 teams? You know, TCU gets eliminated, Ohio State gets eliminated, and it looks like it may be Oklahoma and USC.
Fans on their feet, 2nd down and 8. Off the fake to Thomas. Stewart's pass to Booker. Did he make the catch? He did.
Yeah.
Inside the 15-yard line. Marty Booker staying inbounds to make the catch.
Yeah, he came down and actually landed on his knees first. This is a comeback route. He drives off Lenny Wallace. Now watch him, he hit his knees here. See, he was actually like walking on his knees to get his hands under the ball.
Terrific athleticism by Marty Booker, picking up yet another Bears first down.
And you know, that's just an example of a good throw and a great comeback against great coverage.
First and 10 for the Bears from the Broncos 14, trailing by 1. Stewart to Stanley Pritchett, and he's hit hard after a gain of just 1 by Ja'Shawn Sykes.
So the hitting out here today has been crisp, just like the air. You know, we saw Shannon Sharpe break his nose, and Urlacher got stunned, and then this hit here by Sykes. Another guy that played at the University of Colorado got hurt his senior year. Hurt his neck and hurt him in the draft and wasn't drafted or anything like that. Now he's getting a chance to start with the injuries they've had to Terry Pierce and Ian Gold and John Mogul.
Spent last year on the Broncos practice squad. Second down and 9. And Stewart's pass is caught at the 5-yard line by the tight end Desmond Clark. Despite taking a hard hit, the former Bronco Clark spent 3 years here in Denver, made the catch. Just shy of a first down.
And survived a great hit by Kenoy Kennedy. Lurking there in the secondary, waiting for somebody to come across the middle. And Cordell accurate on the run here. That's a good ball, good throw. And Kennedy probably thought, how in the world did he hang on to it?
Well, Desmond Clark caught a career-high 51 balls 2 seasons ago as a Bronco. And
well, that was the year that they had all the injuries to the wide receivers. Rod Smith was hurt with a bad ankle, and Ed McCaffrey got injured that first game of the year. And so it was like a tight end offense here. Shannon Sharpe was playing in Baltimore.
It'll be 3rd and inches for the Bears from the 4.5 as the clock will now run down, and the third quarter will come to an end. The only scoring in the third quarter, a Jason Elam field goal following this 49-yard run by Clinton Portis. The Broncos lead by 1. Welcome back to Denver. Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger. First play of the fourth quarter coming up. Denver Broncos leading the Chicago Bears 10-9. Bears facing a 3rd and inches from the Denver 4. Stewart on the sneak has the first down.
Well, that's part of what Cordell Stewart gives you, is that ability to, he's a powerful guy, strong guy, and a good runner. So that effort there gives him the first down, his new set of downs. Cordell Stewart left the University of Colorado at Boulder, about 30 minutes north of here. Left to the most prolific passer in the history of Buffalo football. And so I think he probably likes this kind of weather in this atmosphere. He played a lot of it in these type of conditions.
In case you joined us late, Chris Chandler played the entire first half, suffered a shoulder injury, sprained AC joint, replaced by Stewart in the second half. First and goal, Stewart looking end zone, and is tackled at the 1-yard line, forced out of bounds at the 1.
Well, I tell you what, Cordell Stewart is a big-time, runner out there with the football, but this is a scrappy bunch of Broncos, and I don't know what's going to happen here with a yard to go, but the Broncos are defending their goal line. They are not going to allow them to get in there easy. They're going to have to earn it here, even this yard. Trevor Price coming from defensive tackle to take Stewart out of bounds, and that's a lot of ground to cover.
Bears have not reached the end zone today. 3 Paul Ettinger field goals accounted for all of their points. Off the fake.
They played it.
Here's Stewart. No signal yet. Here come the officials.
Fourth down. Third down here. Now they played this perfect. Watch right here. Nick Ferguson, disciplined football. played the bootleg all the way. Watch, Cordell Stewart's left hand gets in, but not the ball.
3rd and inches. Pritchett, the fullback. Stewart diving towards the goal line. Still no signal.
It sure looked like he had enough of an impetus there to get in. And maybe the ball never went over. But it looked like there was a little seal behind Chris Valario, the right guard. I don't know how you can't see it. This guy will never make the call. The umpire will never make it because he can't tell if it crosses the plane.
The announcement from Bill Levy. He was stopped shy of the goal line. Waldy, if you were Dick Duran, do you go for it or do you kick the field goal and take a 2-point lead?
Man, I tell you, I would go for it, and I would take Cordell Stewart the exact same play. Quarterback sneak it right here. Now, the last time they were in this situation on 4th down, remember, that's when Metcalf jumped, and they were forced to kick the field goal. But, you know, if you kick the field goal here, you're only up 2. A field goal still beats you. I think you got to, if you go for the touchdown and you score it, the Broncos will need a touchdown to win it.
I wonder if Dick Duran has challenged. Looks like Bill Levy is heading over. We did not see the red flag come out.
No.
But Bill Levy is heading over to take a look.
But how do you know? I mean, you can't see the ball there.
There must be indisputable visual evidence.
Visual evidence? I can't see the ball.
Yep. Not sure there will be. This the 5th challenge by Dick Duran.
After reviewing the play,
Here's Bill Levy.
Determined that the runner did not score. He was stopped for 4th down. Chicago will be charged their 2nd timeout.
So it will be a 4th and inches. The call on the field stands. I think you and I both agree there was not enough visual evidence for Bill Levy to overturn the call on the field and rule touchdown.
Yeah, and I think Duran's making the right call here by putting the offense back out there and try to get this, what is it, a couple of inches here? I agree with this decision. You go for it.
This will be the 15th play of this drive for the Bears. 4th and inches.
Look at all the hands lined up right there on the goal line.
Stewart looks to go over the top, and he is in for the touchdown. Cordell Stewart on 4th and inches has given the Bears a 5-point lead.
He's got some spring in the legs, doesn't he? He went up and over. Uses his athletic ability, and that time, man, it's just a good goal line play all the way around. I'll tell you, pretty good lift right there, though. Chris Valario got great lift. And created a little bit of softness in the middle. And Urlacher will take it.
For Cordell Stewart, Brian, his 37th career rushing touchdown, more than any other active quarterback in the NFL.
And Cordell Stewart has responded here in the 2nd half. He's given this team a lift.
Bears elect to kick the extra point, but not go for 2. 2-point conversion would have given them a 7-point lead. They kick the extra point and lead by 6. Bears have taken a 6-point lead, a 15-play, 55-yard drive. They held the ball, Brian, for 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, it kept Jake Plummer and the Denver offense off the field, so that's the other bonus to that kind of a drive.
Bears went for it on 4th down twice, converted both on that drive. Chris Cole on the return for the Broncos out to the 28-yard line, a 26-yard return. Now, as far as the decision to kick the extra point instead of going for 2?
Well, I think that you know, whether it's 15-10 or 16-10, it doesn't make that much difference unless Dick Duran's thinking 2 field goals could beat you. If you don't make the 2 points and it's 15-10. And I think that's probably what went into his mind. And the way that the Bears have defended today, maybe that's all the Broncos could get is a couple of field goals, but that would still beat you. So I think that entered his mind.
Broncos trailing by 6, begin from their own 28-yard line. Play action on first down. Plummer can't find anyone. Down he goes.
That's the rookie, Charles Tillman. And he was relentless in his pursuit of Jake Plummer. And again, the way to defend Plummer is to blitz off the outside, to stop any ability to come back and around. Comes right off the slaughter covering Rod Smith. Plummer thinks that he's free and clear, except right on his heels is Tillman. Tillman's going for that strip too. Jake did a great job of putting that ball in his left hand and not getting that ball knocked out.
First NFL sack for Tillman, loss of 4 on the play. 2nd and 14. Plummer over the middle, deflected. Lance Briggs got a piece of it as we send it to Los Angeles and JB.
Hey, Kenny and Brian, and show you how indeed Arizona is still battling back. Take a look at Jeff Blake drilling a bullet to Anquan Bolden. 3-yard strike. Bolden's 2nd of the day. 6 catches, 123 yards, all tied at 24. And Brian, we would love, well, I guess I can't say that, Brian. We can't cheer one way or the other. Back to Kenny and Brian.
All right, JB.
That used to be Jake Plummer leading those fourth quarter.
Those Arizona Cardinals, yeah.
Chris Chandler knocked out today on an 18-degree day here in Denver.
Well, here's Jake down in the 4th quarter today.
Pass complete up at the 27-yard line to Deltha O'Neal, former quarterback, now playing on offense.
But that's Lance Briggs. He just made 2 plays in a row. Talked about his speed at the open. Now, he was out a little bit last week with some back spasms, but he just helped get the Bears off the field in 3 plays. And that's Deltha O'Neal, who's a #1 draft pick and a cornerback and a returner, now trying to play wide receiver, and Briggs was able to bring him down in the open field.
Broncos go 3 and out for the 2nd straight time. High snap, gathered in by Noor. Fair catch called for at the 40 by R.W. McQuarters. 34-yard punt. We'll be right back. Some big numbers put up today by Matt Hasselbeck in the Seahawks' overtime loss to Baltimore. Von Green, who will be on Fox this Thursday on Thanksgiving, 154 yards on the ground. Deuce McAllister, 184. And how about former Chicago Bear, Marcus Robinson?
Yeah, the last wide receiver before Marty Booker to go to the Pro Bowl. One of those kids that got his training in NFL Europe.
Bears with terrific field position once again, starting from their own 40. Play action on first down, and Stewart going deep. He was looking for Des White.
I tell you, look at the play action fake of Cordell Stewart. This looks like what we were talking about with Jake Plummer. Watch the separation he gets after the fake and how much room he has in here. Be able to step up and throw it. And boy, I tell you, Des White was wide open. One of the few breakdowns I've seen in the secondary of the Broncos over the last couple weeks. Kelly Herndon thought that he had the route read right. I was trying to say that again. Route right, and he did it.
2nd and 10. The give is to Anthony Thomas. Looks to bounce it to the outside, and is tackled from behind by Reggie Hayward after a gain of just 2, setting up 3rd down and 8.
The Bears have struggled on 3rd down. Remember, they were 1 of 8 in the first half with Chris Chandler. They seem to be a little bit better with Cordell Stewart. 3 for 13 today.
And the Broncos, coming into this game, ranked 2nd in 3rd down defense.
And here's Marty Booker. This is the guy that Cordell Stewart in motion right now will be looking for.
Bears have to get to midfield for a first down. Bears wanted a flag, and they got one. David Terrell was the intended receiver.
Yeah, they said pass interference, and I think Lenny Walls got a little tangled up on the outside.
Number 35, defense. Automatic first down.
Lenny Walls covering Des White right up here at the top. When you're that wide to the sideline, there's only a couple routes you can run. That's just basically kind of a streak route, and you try to underthrow that ball to get that interference. That's what you do on it.
So an automatic first down from the Broncos 37 off the play fake. Stewart inside the 30, picks up a first down at the Denver 26.
That's the Cordell Stewart they thought they were getting in free agency. The guy that has this kind of ability. I mean, this is what Jake Plummer's game plan was in the opening drive today. Getting outside the pocket, and he was thinking about running this all the way. Converting on third down here with penalty helps. Getting outside. Like I said, you know, the Broncos didn't prepare all week for a guy that has this kind of mobility. They were prepared for Chris Chandler, where they knew where he was every down.
Movement prior to the snap. Remember the pass interference call in the second quarter?
Number 69, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Back in the second quarter, a 45-yard pass interference penalty led to a Bears field goal. Bears, as we've talked about, have played in a number of close games despite their 3-7 record.
Oh, man.
Lost on last-minute field goals the last 2 weeks to the Lions and the Rams.
They haven't been able to finish in the fourth quarter. Defense has given up some big plays in the fourth quarter, and the offense hasn't been able to put the team away in the fourth quarter.
Pass incomplete, intended for Booker. Cordell Stewart replaced Chris Chandler, who injured his shoulder in the first half. Chandler went 8 of 18 for 79 yards. Stewart with the dive over the top on a 4th and inches has given the Bears a 6-point lead earlier in this fourth quarter. Bears out on top 16-10. Second down and 15. Bears keep it on the ground with Thomas. And Thomas gains just 2 down to the 28-yard line with 9.5 remaining. Fourth quarter, Bears have 2 of their 3 wins against the AFC West. They've already beaten Oakland and
Raiders.
San Diego, and they lead Denver on the road in the fourth quarter.
You know, and it's been a clean game. You know, had been a lot of penalties. No turnovers in this game right now. Dick Duran has been in this situation this year. Remember, they've lost the last 2 games now by a total of 4 points. It's like every game they play is a close fourth quarter battle.
Empty backfield on third down and 12. What was that?
Well, he saw the blitz coming. He saw Trevor Price coming at him, and I think he just wanted to get rid of it without taking a bad play. But there's no back in the vicinity. Trevor Price could be coming from the outside clean. I don't know if they were trying to set up a screen, but there was no back there.
So Dick Duran sends out a field goal unit. Paul Edinger is 3 for 3. Hit a 54-yarder earlier. This will be a 47-yard attempt.
And this is the direction that he was kicking when he made the 54-yarder.
Bears call timeout. 8:50 remaining fourth quarter. Bears look to extend their lead to 9.
Well, Dick Duran was giving referee Bill Levy a mouthful because they didn't reset the clock, and it forced the Bears to take their final timeout to be able to get this field goal off.
They lost one on the unsuccessful challenge. This a 47-yard attempt by Edinger. And he has broken out of his slump in a big way. He had missed 3 in a row coming into the game. He is 4 for 4 today. Bears now lead by 9. Jake Plummer and the Broncos now trail the Bears by 9 following Paul Edinger's 4th field goal of the game. Bears looking to end their 12-game road losing streak. Chris Cole on the return. Penalty marker, another flag as Cole brings it out to the 40, a 36-yard return.
Holding, number 23, receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Willie Middlebrooks, the guilty Bronco. Thursday, start your Thanksgiving Day with an NFL tradition. A Fox NFL special as the Packers take on the Lions in an NFC Northern Division showdown. Packers and Lions Thursday on Fox starting at 11:30 Eastern.
At what point, where would the turkey be at 11:30? Can it be in the oven at that time? Is it already prepared? Where does that fit in?
I'll be on an airplane.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you one tradition is Jake Plummer behind in the 4th quarter. I mean, that's what he was in Arizona for 6 years when he was there trying to bring a team back, and that's what he's faced with today.
Starting from the 13, the pass is batted down by the former Bronco Keith Traylor. As we send it west, the JV in a warm studio in Los Angeles.
Kenny and Brian, Mark Bulger's woes with turnovers continue. Take a look at him here being sacked by Ronald McKinnon. He fumbles the ball. That was his 4th turnover of the game. Led to a Neil Rackers field goal, 27-24 Arizona. And guess what? He's thrown now his 4th pick of the game. 5 turnovers. Back to Kenny and Brian.
So, is the camera on Kurt Warner down there? It looks like it's time to go to the former Super Bowl MVP.
Rod Smith lost the football, but he was ruled down. Oh, no, it was ruled an incompletion.
No, that's Charles Tillman. I tell you, this is week in, week out now. His ability to blanket receivers. Last week it was Torrey Holt. Watch him on Rod Smith here. Urlacher in the face. And then Tillman here. See, he gets that left hand and he digs that ball out of there. The receiver is never open until, or the play's never over until it's over. I mean, right there, Tillman was able to strip that ball out of there. No penalties for Tillman today, along with those statistics.
Plummer on 3rd and 10, going deep for the lead, goes through his hands.
And Tillman fell. Tillman tripped on the ground, and Lee was all alone. And sometimes the breaks just go your way. Tillman trips, and there's the lay. I mean, he looks like he short-armed the ball. It looks like he didn't judge it right. That if he put his arms out, the ball looked like it was perfectly thrown.
So for the 3rd consecutive possession, the Broncos go 3 and out. Total of 4 yards of offense on their last 3 possessions.
Well, and the coverage is outstanding of the Bears.
Punt taken at midfield by McQuarters. McQuarters spinning inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line of the Broncos. A 12-yard return following a 37-yard punt. Terrific field position once again for the Bears, who lead by 9 with just over 8 minutes remaining. Victories for the Cowboys and the Eagles today. They are tied atop the NFC East.
You know who the hottest team in pro football is right now, Kenny?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles have just won their 6th in a row. And remember how the start that Donovan McNabb got off with? I mean, his quarterback rating was the worst in the league, lowest rated quarterback. And he has brought himself back and the team. And now right there tied with Dallas.
Giants will play tomorrow night down in Tampa. As Thomas is bottled up on first down.
Charles Tillman on the phone.
Big win for Dallas today at home, defeating the Carolina Panthers. We saw the Panthers last week as they defeated Washington for their 8th win.
Yeah, the Cowboys, you know, I mean, that was a big win for them against Carolina. The teams, you know, Carolina with the best record there in the NFC. Jake Delhomme had brought the Panthers back 2 weeks in a row with miraculous last-minute drives to win the last 2 games.
Stewart's pass is short, intended for Desmond Clark.
Well, you know how the Bears early in the game adjusted their defense to corral Jake Plummer? Well, that's what Denver is now doing to Cordell Stewart. I mean, they've almost taken the same game plan and adjustment, that time blitzing off the edge and keeping Cordell Stewart. Both these quarterbacks, Stewart and Plummer, are average quarterbacks in the pocket. When they get outside the pocket, magic begins to happen.
Bears have to get to the Denver 28 for a first down. 3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers. And Stewart again short, this time intended for Booker.
See, I mean, now Denver blitzed them the last couple plays, and they kept Stewart in there, didn't get outside. And all of a sudden, you know, the balls are a little short-armed. Now Wilson coming off a little banged up. Here it is. I mean, now Wilson here, and then they get Spragan off the edge. Cordell Stewart didn't have a whole lot of room to step up and throw that ball. But
Wilson had a bit of a shoulder problem last week.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've already lost 3 linebackers. You know, they lose Ian Gold, John Mobley, and then last week they lost Terry Pierce. And that's the one guy they can't lose, that this defense can't survive without.
Bears take a delay of game penalty here to give Maynard some extra room on the punt. Now Wilson, the heart and soul of that Denver defense.
Like something with his hand or his wrist.
Maynard punting from midfield. And it's out of bounds at the 9-yard line. 29-yard punt. Maynard pinning the Broncos deep.
When Jake was out with the injury, the Broncos played the Ravens, they played the Steelers, they played New England, they played 3 of the top defenses in the league. And they struggled, and it was Berline, and it was Cannell, but Jake didn't get a chance to see those defenses. And he's seeing a tough physical defense here today, and his offense is struggling.
Plummer under pressure, and the throw short, intended for the tight end, Dwayne Carswell. Broncos have gone 3 and out on their last 3 possessions. Remember, they started the game with a 12-play, 78-yard touchdown drive, but have gone downhill since.
Well, Shanahan is looking at that play chart there. Of course, Gary Kubiak helps him call the plays. And I don't know if they have a play right now on that script that can dig them out of this hole. They need at least 2 scores here in the final 7 minutes.
2nd and 10. Plummer's pass intended for Carswell. Bears say he did not hold on.
I tell you, and the guys are getting frustrated here in Denver. Watch Shannon Sharp. He thinks he's wide open. He gets picked up. But the receivers of Denver today have been ineffective. I mean, Rod Smith has the 5 catches, but 34 yards, but Shannon Sharp hasn't done much. Nothing to Ashley Lilly.
And you think back to that McCaffrey drop in the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the first quarter. Plummer on 3rd and 5. Oh, what a catch by Sharp. And he took another hard hit.
Well, there's been a bunch of them today. Those safeties. That was Bobby Gray that just laid the wood. Well, Shannon Sharp, we already saw him with the bloody nose earlier today. He was just telling us how good he felt on Friday for the first time all year. Last week he said he felt his best and they used him. They got him involved in the game plan. And the RW recorder's a shadow. This is a great throw by Jake. Better catch, and then watch this kid Bobby Gray come up and just put the shoulder on him. Stopped him dead in his tracks.
28-yard pass play from Plummer to Sharp. And then the hit by Gray, the second-year safety out of Louisiana Tech, who started today's game for the injured Mike Green.
Well, those safeties play as deep as any safeties in football, and one of the reasons why they do is when receivers come into the middle of the field, they've got a target on their chest, and they come looking for him. Mike Brown and Bobby Gray.
For the Broncos, Brian, their first down since early in the third quarter.
Shannon Sharp made that mistake this week of mentioning the retirement word, and it's hits like that and it's feelings like he does right now. They'll kind of make you think about the Chase lounge chair a little bit more.
He said only he and his dog know the truth.
Right.
From the 42, Plummer complete. Rod Smith found some open space and brings it down to the Bears 35. So on consecutive pass plays, Broncos gain 28 and then 23 yards.
You mentioned Shannon Sharp's dog. I don't know what kind it is, but here's a pit bull. This Charles Tillman, I mean, it's a good play by Rod Smith and a great throw, but he's a scrappy kid. He's never too far away, and he never stops coming.
5:15 remaining. Broncos need 2 scores. Clinton Portis. And he's forced out of bounds by Bobby Gray. Portis gains 8. He had runs of 59 and 49 yards earlier. Comes away limping.
Yeah, but he's not coming out of the game. He's going right back to the huddle. Well, maybe not. Quentin Griffin just came in for him.
Look how fast Portis runs off the field.
Yeah, he hobbles fast.
Wow.
That's, you know,
never seen anybody run off the field that fast.
I'm telling you, maybe. Yeah, I said he was fast, but I didn't know. I never saw him hobble and run before.
From the 27, here's Griffin. And Griffin looks to have the first down.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Denver's huddling up here. They get the first down, new set of downs, but the clock isn't exactly their best friend right here.
Broncos use their first timeout. They have 2 remaining plus the 2-minute warning. They trail the Bears late fourth quarter by 9. Injury update, Shannon Sharp took a hit to the chest. May return. Clinton Portis an ankle problem. On the defensive side, Al Wilson suffered a stinger. 2 timeouts remaining for the Broncos. You trail by 9 with 4:39 remaining in this fourth quarter. Off the fake to Griffin. Plummer rolling right.
Got Rod Smith all the way in the corner.
Goes back across the field, and Jerry Azuma on the coverage broke things up.
This is an old John Elway play right here, where they roll the quarterback hard right on a bootleg. Rod Smith will work a post corner on the backside. This is a long throw, a throw Greasy could never make. But look at the coverage of Jerry Azuma. Most corners would never stay with the receiver that long. I mean, that's discipline, and that's the play they're getting from these 2 guys. Tillman and Azuma consistently now over the last month.
Plummer on second down through the hands of McCaffrey.
Tillman, man, I tell you, he knows how to play the game. That's the way to play the game. You play it physical, you play it tough, and when you get a shot at Ed McCaffrey, you don't pass it up. That kind of Bears football, too. You think about the Midway, the Monsters, and who's played there, you know, and Gary Fensick in the secondary for years. Singletary, Buckers, all the whole lineage of guys. That's how they played the game.
I thought you meant the cold. When I think cold, I think Soldier Field.
Soldier Field.
3rd and 10. Plummer out of the shotgun. Rod Smith tackled down at the 22-yard line by Azuma, gain of just 3. Broncos need 2 scores.
So you get the first one first.
Send out the field goal unit. This will be a 40-yard attempt by Elam. Is it too early to onside kick?
No, because they've got 3 timeouts. Down to 2 timeouts, so.
2 plus the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, put the number 2 ring. Oh, man, that was bad.
Bad snap. Here's Noor throwing, and it's nearly intercepted by Brock Williams. The Bears will take over on downs, and the Broncos still need 2 scores.
The snap looked fine. The hold. Like a Noor right here. Yeah, I mean, some cold hands and a hard ball, and the timing was just awful. But now you got to go rescue the play. I mean, Caldwell sees it, but there's another play by Tillman. Look at Tillman. Shanahan probably thinking, like, what else is going to go wrong here today?
Broncos 4-1 at home. They don't lose very often at home. 55-15 under Mike Shanahan at both Mile High and Invesco. Trailing by 9. The pitch to Anthony Thomas as the Bears will look and try to run some time off the clock.
They should use the timeout right here. Try to save as much time as you can.
2nd and 4 coming up. 3:35 on the clock.
That's Al Wilson still on the sidelines as the Bears will try to melt this clock. He's got 9 tackles today, but Wilson, the heartbeat of that defense, out.
2nd down and 4. Pitch to Thomas. And Anthony Thomas is close to a first down out at the 32-yard line. Chicago Bears looking to break a 12-game road losing streak. 0-4 away from Soldier Field this season. Bears started the year 1-5. They've won 2 of their last 4 games. Clock stops now for a measurement.
You know, and in Chicago, with the Bears 3-7, Dick Duran coming under a lot of fire, and what do you do when you get a team like this that's lost 2 close games in a row, and you can come to Denver and play this good, this kind of football? He hasn't lost a team. The team is playing hard every week, and they're getting great performances by some young kids. I mean, I just think, regardless of the record, there's optimism in Chicago. And Cordell Stewart looks like he's pretty optimistic right now. I mean, it's like a homecoming for him coming up here to the Rocky Mountains.
Up next for the Bears, they will host the Arizona Cardinals next week, while the Broncos head west to take on the Raiders.
That's Brian Urlacher's sister right there. She just saw herself on the screen. Yeah, she travels to watch her favorite brother play every weekend.
You don't think Casey's her favorite brother?
Well, Casey just signed with the arena team in Chicago. They're happy about that. Looks like they just battled for that first down.
Casey went to training camp with the Bears, Casey Urlacher.
Yeah. Sherry Urlacher wants to play linebacker too.
Is that right?
She does, yeah. She wants, to get those women teams now. She wants to put some shoulder pads on and go knock somebody.
Back in Denver, the Broncos have used their final timeout. A new set of downs for the Bears, who lead 19-10. Bears have suffered a couple of back-to-back last-minute losses. They took the lead on a 1-yard Cordell Stewart touchdown dive over the top. Thomas gains a yard out to the 34. Tremendous job by our entire crew, braving the elements here in the 18-degree weather in Denver, led by our producer, Pete Macheska, our director, Mike Frank, associate director, Barry Landis, broadcast associate, Zach Fields. Our technical producer is Denver native, Dan Rotante. Studio produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The associate director, Stephanie Medina. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Our statistician, Eric Merlis. Our spotter, Ben Bowman. From the 34-yard line. On 2nd and 9, Thomas bottled up. We hit the 2-minute warning here in Denver. Back in Denver, big day for Clinton Portis, but his Broncos trail by 9. Chris Chandler played the first half, left with a shoulder injury on this 18-degree day. Brian Urlacher and the Bears, led by Cordell Stewart, here in the second half.
Well, the Bears haven't gotten any cold weather back home. They had to come to Denver to get it, and they look comfortable playing in it.
3rd down and 9 with 2 minutes remaining. From the 35, Thomas back to the line of scrimmage. Bears will punt. But first we head west. JB, what's going on?
Hey, fellas, let's take a look and see what St. Louis did to finally tie this one up. Jeff Wilkins, 24-yard field goal as time expired. They couldn't score inside the red zone, so they tied it up. It's now going into overtime against Arizona. Back to Kenny and Brian.
Another overtime game.
Yeah, this league is so tight. I mean, you know, there's no indicators of what a team is going to do from week to week in this business anymore.
Seattle and Baltimore went to overtime. Houston and New England. And now St. Louis and Arizona. Delta O'Neal on the return for the Broncos. Out to the 27-yard line with 1:06 on the clock. 9-yard return by O'Neal.
Seattle losing after having Baltimore. Looked like they had that game well handled, losing in overtime. They dropped to 7-4. St. Louis trying to stay on their heels. San Francisco losing at Lambeau today. I don't think Elway could bring the Broncos back right now with 1:06 and no timeouts.
Down by 9. 3 wide receivers. Broncos start from their own 27. Plummer over the middle to Sharp. Urlacher right there to make the tackle. Check that. It was Patrick Hape on the reception. His first catch of the game. Broncos quickly back up to the line. From the 36. Plummer to the near side. And the catch was made by Ashley Lallee. Lallee's first reception today.
I'll tell you, the Bears are going to have a good trip home to Chicago. Coming in that blizzard yesterday, it looked ominous, but they just played hard. I mean, they hit hard today. They played hard. They didn't give up any big plays. They figured out a way to keep Jake Plummer in the pocket. They earned this win.
Complete to Rod Smith. Up to the 48-yard line. Another Broncos first down. Gain of 11 with 30 seconds remaining. Broncos out of timeouts. They will drop to 6-5. Bears will raise their record to 4-7 with the victory here in Denver. Plummer complete again. It's Smith down for the Chicago 34.
Well, you know, it's just a disappointing loss for Denver. But there's still a lot of football to be played. And I don't think that you can write this team into any kind of a wild card playoff berth just yet.
Well, man. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So the Broncos drop to 6-5. The Chiefs are beating the Raiders. Assuming they hang on, they would go to 10-1 and hold a 4-game lead over Mike Shanahan's Broncos. This will be the final play, barring a defensive penalty. the final play has the pass batted down by Charles Tillman, who puts the exclamation point on a strong game by the Bears defense.
That's what it was. I mean, it was the Bears defense today.
So the Bears, led by Cordell Stewart, who signed with Chicago after Jake Plummer visited Chicago but chose Denver. Big hits, Brian, all day long. So the Bears end their 12-game road losing streak. Will return to Denver in a moment.